again.
I had to son these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes, just some undercover actors. I don't fall for it, I'm privy to all your tactics. Yeah, so try again, this time take a vitamin. Yeah, invite them in, welcome to the Lions Den. And I'm Mufasa, big boss in charge of coming in like a bull. You see me raising the stock up, confidence, come on now.
Welcome along to RCFC TV here at the Global Energy Stadium in Dingwall. We're into the final 4 games of the Scottish Premiership season. This is when it really starts to count. Massive few weeks left in the bid to avoid the drop. And I'm delighted to say that Callum Morris, Ross County defender, is alongside us for this one to give his insight. And also, of course, our regular guest, Stephen Craigan, is here as well. Callum, let's start with yourself. How's the recovery going from injury? How are you feeling?
No, really well. It's something I've obviously dealt with before. Actually being at the club, I've had it twice, which is a shame, but going really well and probably ahead of schedule, although this season's a no-go, I think. But no, it's going well. Just waiting away in the gym and trying to do all I can off the pitch to help the boys.
Footballers hate not playing and looking on from the sidelines. How difficult is it as well when your teammates are out there scrapping for every point?
Yeah, it's tough, especially the position we're in, and especially as a senior pro as well around the place. But it doesn't take away from my job off the pitch and what I have to give in the change room, especially with the younger ones about the place as well. So it is tough, but that gets parked, and it's about the team at the minute, and it's about these last 4 games and making sure that we stay in the division.
Stephen, the sun is shining, the pubs are almost open, lockdown restrictions, has that allowed you to move into your Highland residence?
Well, all we need now is 3 points tonight, and I think that's got to be the sole focus, finding a way to win a game of football. And I think too often this season, and I'm probably repeating myself, most games are the same, but County have found a way to lose too many games when they've been well in it, they've worked hard, they've played reasonably well. At times conceded soft goals and missed a lot of chances. But what I witnessed down at Kilmarnock, and I know we will go into the game a little bit later on, but there was a real spirit and determination about them. They played as a team who knew they were in a relegation battle. Their character was tested, they bounced back, and it's no surprise that John picked an experienced side, because when you're in these kind of situations, you need your experienced players to lead. And as much as Callum's sitting here, John Hughes wouldn't love nothing more than to have Callum Morris at the heart of his defence. He hasn't got that. So he has to, move on with it. So the players certainly know the battle they're in, and tonight is a big game.
Have you seen the mood change over this last little spell after the performance down at Rugby Park?
I think so, yeah. Obviously, we've got the extra days, the way the fixtures have come out, and the manager's had time on the pitch to go through what he wants the boys to do, which he's been doing since he came in, to be fair. But I think everything that's gone before this is it doesn't matter anymore. It's just 4 massive games. And it's about getting the maximum points from as many as we can, because, like I said, there's 4 games left and there's 4 games to stay in the league. But the boys have been buoyant after I know it's only a draw, but to come back from the early goal, and a tough place to go as well after Killy had a couple of good results. It has been really positive, so I'm sure the boys are raring to go now going into this game.
But that's something they've struggled with. That's been we talk about Achilles' heel of conceding goals from set plays, but when they've went behind, too often they've had to chase games, and mentally and physically it takes its toll, because then you get picked off in the counter-attack and you end up losing another goal, whereas it would be nice for a little change to go in front and maybe absorb a little bit of pressure, bring teams on, and then play in the counter-attack. So let's hope they get the first goal tonight.
Everything about this season is strange. I mean, we've been saying that since August, but given the nature of the Scottish Cup, it's all staggered towards the end of the season. Help or hindrance to be having 10-day gaps between games?
I think after you've had a positive result, it's a hindrance, because you want to get back in the pitch and you want to kind of keep that momentum going. Sometimes if you have a defeat, maybe you can sit back, you can analyse it a little bit better, you can have more time to work on things. So the fact that they had that good result against Kilmarnock, they'd have been desperate to play 3 or 4 days later just to continue that good form. But they've had the bide of time, they've had the wait. Both teams, coincidentally, have had good results against the good teams. When you think of St Mirren have went to Celtic Park and won, they beat Rangers at home, they beat Aberdeen at home. County have went to Easter Road and won. They've won at Celtic Park. They beat Celtic here. They beat Aberdeen here. So both sides on their day have a big performance in them. And maybe I'm being wrong in saying this, but I think County have more to play for tonight. They really have clearly something to play for. That, you don't want to disrespect St Mirren, but if County can replicate the performances of what they've had against the bigger teams, then tonight should be 3 points.
Well, it was a cracking game down at Rugby Park a week and a half ago. Let's take a wee reminder at the best of the action. All the way through, McGowan will pick it up. It was Mitch Pinnock's corner, now comes in from the other side. Ross County need to reset, and it's volleyed in by Chris Burke, and 2 minutes on the clock. What a start that is for Kilmarnock. A really tough way to start this one for Ross County. Forward it goes. Mackay picks it up. Oh, what a response! It's taken just 2.5 minutes for Ross County to respond. That was absolutely stunning. And Ross County back level. Well, what a start to this game at Rugby Park. Pinnock, and he scores. And Kilmarnock edge themselves back in front. This game seesawing back in Killy's favour. See something up from the corner. Vigers takes Ross County in the ascendancy, and they've got a second equaliser. Alex Iacovitti wheels away in delight. Ross County showing their character once again, coming from behind for the second time, and it's tied up at 2-2, and this is turning in to a relegation dogfight classic. Well, boys, it really was the game that had everything. Certainly a lot more went on than we can fit into the 2 minutes of highlights there. What did you make of that performance, Callum?
Like I said before, I think going into the game, all the stuff that's gone on before in this season, it's about staying in the game early doors, or you're away from home, and obviously conceding the early goal was the worst possible start. But the boys did brilliant to get back into it. When we showed a threat throughout the game, obviously Michael Gardine back in the team, Ross Draper back in the team, the older heads seemed to shore us up a bit, and the creativity was there with Billy and Big Jordan. So I think looking back at the game, the boys are probably down after it just because we didn't take the 3 points. Obviously a point's good, it's in the balance of play and where we are on the table. It was better not to lose the game than not to get anything, but it was good. It was good to come away with something at least.
Balance of chances, certainly Ross County seemed to dominate in that sense.
Yeah, and I think even possession-wise, they were more productive than what Kilmarnock were. Kilmarnock were quite direct and throwing it forward and playing for scraps and second balls. I felt there was a real composure about County, and considering they went behind early on, that can easily throw you off track. You can lose your way for a long spell. The fact that they bounced back and got the equaliser so quickly after that gives you a little bit of belief. Then they go behind again, and you think, can they come back again? But once they got level, you thought there was only one team going to win. Michael Gardine was back to his best. He probably influenced the game as much as he has done this season. Not for the full game, but when he was involved in it, he made something happen. Ian Vigers, I thought, controlled the tempo of the game, give a real platform to build possession from, and that's how John wants to play. This is a smaller playing surface tonight, so he might not get as much time on the ball, but if they can take a lot of the characteristics from that game, implement it into here, because they've played St Mirren 3 times this season, and I generally believe they've been the better team on the 3 occasions, barring here when they went down to 9 men. So they have to take heart from that performance, and really go and chase the game tonight.
Well, a lot of positivity from that game. Let's hear what manager John Hughes thought of that, and tonight he caught up with Stephen earlier.
John, it's 5.5 weeks since you last had a home game, and tonight it's a big one.
Yeah, massive cup final. But saying that, we've been saying that for a while. We're in a good place at the moment. A little bit disappointing that we never beat Kilmarnock. I felt we've done enough to get the result. We've prepared the game very, very well. we're up against a team that we've not beat this year, although their last game was very close. And hopefully Lady Luck shines on us and we pick up the 3 points.
Just touching on that Kilmarnock game, the character of the team has been questioned at different times throughout the season, but to go behind twice showed lots of character and lots of spirit from the players.
Yeah, we could easily have folded, and we've got a habit of making it hard for ourselves, especially losing a goal so early on. You know, and I keep saying to them, you know, we have to keep clean sheets if we want any chance of winning a football match. We played an experienced team. It's the same team tonight, apart from Tremarco, who's struggling with his calf. So young Leo come in, never let us down. And as a team, I have to say that they've never let me down. There's been one or two frustrations along the way, one or two probably bad performances, Rangers away, St Johnstone away. But even in that game, how bad we were, we dug in there and lost a goal in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So it's going to have to be that character tonight. You know, we're up against a good team, and we're going to have to try and take the game to them, but no be too gun-ho. You know, do it with a little bit of discipline, and everyone knows their job. As I say, we've prepared the game really well. We've got 2 strikers up there. I could easily, if they play with usually a sitting midfielder, you know, could easily have played with a more midfield man that plays against them. I'm wanting Bully Mackay up there. I'm wanting him going towards their goal. I'm wanting Jordan White going towards their goal. And 1 or 2 other players in the team have got a job to do. The boy Durnis, who's the one that we think can just open the door a little bit. Then Tully's has to do her job on him. That's it. Out of possession, then you can go and express yourself. In possession, do a job. Don't let him run the game. And on the other side, Connolly, the runner, young Leo, he knows what his job is. Go and touch tight and make sure you come out on top.
You touched on experience there. Is that deliberate from you because of the enormity of the games?
There's a bit of everything. I don't think there'll be too much in the games for now to the end of the season, and experience gets us by. And as you say, experience, the character, and there's also a right good physicality in there. So I think, as I say, it's fine margins. It could be one on a set piece. It's about time we started scoring more regular for set plays. So hopefully that'll be the case tonight. Keep a clean sheet, and we're all happy campers.
How have you been over the past number of weeks, you know, with the situation the team are in, battling away at the bottom? Because everyone thinks of John Hughes as being this happy-go-lucky character, but I think there's an awful lot more to you than what people think.
Aye, well, I'm away for a wife, so I'm absolutely over them. No, I told her the other day that if we stay up this week, we're only getting a week's break, so I can't come home, and she believes me.
There you go.
No, but for all the women out there, trust me, she gives me plenty. No, I enjoy the challenge. I'm right up for it. It's my job as the voice of the club, the leader of the club, to make sure I'm cool, calm, collected. Everyone knows their job, but also, you know, I got pulled up for the SFA there. I still, for making my point, you've seen the penalties that go against us. Come on, enough's enough. Come on, we're no getting, you know, we expect better than that. We're fighting for our lives, and penalties that are, for me, we've played football for years and years going, they're never penalties. I've had 5 against us since I've been up here. 2, 1 against St Mirren, 1 against Hibs, no going. So you have to make a stance. The players are wanting you, they're looking at you in that dressing room and saying, who's our leader? And I had to make a stance. And maybe I've took it a little bit far, got myself in trouble, but it's that kind of fighting character that I'm expecting from my players as well, you know, my kind of team. So hopefully we'll get that tonight, and we'll give the fans something to sing about.
Well, let's hope you stay out of trouble, Johnny. You get 3 points tonight.
I'll stay out of trouble. I'll know if you put this out, and my wife sees it, that's for sure.
Well, good luck on both fronts.
Cheers.
Play your part in producing tomorrow's stars of the Staggies with an Academy Player Sponsorship package for season 2020-21. First team future success relies on your support to nurture players like current number 43, Josh Reid. For more information on how you can assist the Football Academy in developing the next generation of Ross County, contact gordon.duff@rosscountyfootballclub.co.uk today.
Well, welcome back to RCFC TV here at the Global Energy Stadium ahead of Ross County against St Mirren, and it's a huge night of Scottish Premiership action. Let's have a look at how the league table stands ahead of this vital game. This is match day 35 in the Scottish Premiership. So there's 4 games to go. A couple of games already kicking off. Rangers, it's early doors in that one away at McDermott Park, 0-0 with St Johnstone. Hibs are 2-0 up against Livingston through Nisbet and Boyle. And importantly, at the bottom, let's focus on the bottom 3, because Ross County 3 points ahead of Hamilton Academical, who are currently in action against Motherwell, and there's a good hour into that game, and Motherwell are 1-0 up thanks to a Mark O'Hara goal, and Hamilton have had Ronan Hughes sent off. So things not going ideally for Accies, and with Kilmarnock also in action later this evening against Dundee United. It's a huge game in the bottom of the table, boys. That's really where the interest is. It lies at the moment, obviously, for Ross County, but that's where the focus of the real drama is going to be towards the end of the season.
I think so. Obviously, it's so tight. All the teams down there have been jostling the positions for months now. But this is the point where we need to go on a bit of a run. It's easier said than done. Everyone will tell you that. But coming off the last result, would you a result against St Mirren? As Stephen was saying, we've probably been the better side every time we've played against them. If we can come up with a win tonight, that'll be a huge step in the right direction going into the final 3 games. So looking now, it's very positive, and we've got to make sure that we put a performance in, hopefully get the points.
Stephen, you touched on it. Just back referencing John's interview there, and we were all laughing as that one ended. But he is a guy that lightens the mood, brings humour to the camp. But as you touched on with him, there's more to him than that, isn't there?
There is. He's passionate about his football. He wants his team to win. In an ideal world, he wants the team to win with style. But he knows himself now with 4 games to go. It's simply about winning. Performance is a bonus, but getting as many 3 points as you possibly can is key to it. And without getting too far ahead of ourselves, it's in County's hands. With 4 games to go, it's in County's hands. And County will stay up based on their results, not what other teams do. And that's what you have to do. You have to be accountable for your team, for your performance. John can only do so much. He can take them onto the pitch. Players have a responsibility to look after themselves, to get up for the fight, to motivate themselves. If you can't be motivated in the relegation battle, then you shouldn't be playing football for a start. So that's where you have to look to your experienced players. And I think that's why he's went experience, because you can trust them a little bit more. They're a little bit more consistent. I think there's definitely talent in the group. There's no doubt over the season. Some of the performances in games have been terrific, but on the flip side, they've also been poor at times. So it's getting that balance right. And again, replicate the Kilmarnock performance, the characteristics in it, the desire, the spirit, the heart from that, then I think County will be fine.
Well, that's teed it up nicely, because we can have a look at the starting 11 for Ross County this evening. Just the one change from that game down at Rugby Park 10 days ago or so. And that comes at left back as Leo Hjelde comes in for Carl Tremarco. So other than that, it is the same side with Ross Laidlaw in goals. Naismith, Watson and Iacovitti across the back 4. Tilson, Vigers, Draper and Gardine across the midfield, and that old pairing, White and Mackay up top, which has been working quite well of late. So, Callum, no real surprises at the just being that one change, which is enforced. Carl Tremarco's got a calf problem.
I don't think so. Like we've been saying about the result down in Kilmarnock, I couldn't see the manager making too many changes. That experience in there with Draper and Vigers in centre midfield is going to be key. They've been around the block enough times to know what this is all about. They've been in relegation battles themselves. So no, I can totally understand why he's gone with the same team, and Jordan Tilson there for legs. I think when he's played, he's a bit of an unsung hero. He gets about the pitch. The amount of distance he covers is crazy when you see his stats. And I think he will be key tonight, because he will have to cover a lot of ground with the other 2 in there. And hopefully, like you said, Billy and Big Jordan can produce another double act masterclass and get some goals on the score sheet.
You see, John still hasn't picked the same team twice since he took charge. I think tonight he probably would have, if Carl Tremarco had been fit. Because, you think how many players had good performances down there. Carl Tremarco was excellent. I think Alex Iacovitti was very good. But previously, when Alex has been good, the next one sometimes can take a dip. But with 4 games to go, you don't have that room for error. You have to try and be as consistent as you possibly can. So having Keith Watson beside him will help. Ian Vigers was good, Draper was good, Gardine was good. So, they have got that consistency in selection. Now they just need consistency in performance.
But it also means that there are players on the bench as well who can come off and cause problems, like we saw with Harry Payton down at Kilmarnock.
Yeah, listen, Harry's an infectious player. You know, he's got really good attributes. He's a good ball carrier. He's dynamic. He's flexible. He loves to go beyond strikers. He doesn't want to just play behind the ball, whereas Ross Draper and Ian Vaggers are probably more comfortable playing behind it, as is Jordan Tilson. So if you need something different in midfield who can go and break beyond and create spaces and cause confusion in the back four, then Harry Payton can do that. So, listen, egos have to be parked at the door. If you're not playing, forget it. Put it at the door, forget about it. The whole aim now is get through these 4 games, be a Scottish Premiership club and come the summertime, and then your future will take care of itself.
You certainly couldn't have a dig at Ross County for the number of chances that they created, particularly in that game against Kilmarnock. They're almost unfortunate that didn't yield more.
Yeah, I think that's over the course of the season. It's been a bit like that as well. We've had games where we've had loads of possession and we've created a lot, we're not taking those chances, and then the teams have gone down the other end and we've conceded sloppy goals, which has been the story of the season. But if we can start now on the front foot for these last 4 games, playing the same way, creating the same chances, but taking them, it's going to stand us in good stead, and we're going to pick up more points than not. So it's a great platform, the last time out of Kilmarnock, so we've got to make sure we build on it now, and hopefully the lads can step up and start taking those chances.
The frustrating thing on this day was that Billy Mackay has probably been the most productive striker over the last number of weeks, and he didn't really get many of the chances. Yeah. You know, Jordan White hit the post. I think Ross Draper has a good header he should score. Michael Gardyne had a good one first half, just before half time. He'd won in the second half. Harry Payton coming on, you know, showing his skill, his energy, what he's all about, getting beyond, you know, having the ball into the box, and you know, that's at 2-2. Whereas when the big moments, you want them to arrive to your most prolific marksman, which is Billy Mackay. So let's hope tonight that when chances come along, because I think Billy Mackay and Jordan White have worked really well.
Well, we talked about that. Was that Jordan White's best game so far in a Ross County jersey down at Kilmarnock? And has forming that partnership actually been key to Billy Mackay hitting his top form as well? Yeah,
well, I think Jordan attracts a lot of attention. Because Jordan's a big, physical, most powerful striker, defenders sometimes want to get tight and want to get sucked into that. So that allows Billy to drift off to the right and off to the left and get free headers and kind of find space. So he then has to be productive with that. And the first goal when he set up Michael Gardyne, it's a Guy Medley at Kilmarnock thought he was just going to win the header easily, and Billy came in from the blind side and won the header. So Billy can almost skirt around the edges of the game and pick up little pockets of space. So, but ultimately, when the crosses come in, then he wants to be in the middle of the box. But certainly that front two will cause this back three. We think could be a back three tonight. Certainly should pose some problems.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at St Mirren shortly, just after this break.
As a family-owned business, Norscot understand the need for stability, security and comfort. That's why every timber frame kit we supply is built with these in mind. Providing great design flexibility, our homes are entirely customisable to your needs. And with a wide range of adaptable set and bespoke designs on offer, your budget is not a limitation. To find out more, email info@norscot.co.uk. Norscot, proudly serving customers throughout the UK since 1984.
Well, welcome back. And of course, you look back to that final game before the league split, and Ross County's game in Perth actually had quite a big effect on St Mirren, because there was a 2-minute spell at the end of those games where St Johnstone scored and Hamilton scored against St Mirren, and that flipped the whole thing. So St Mirren lost out. That must have been a big disappointment for them. And they now find themselves in a position in the league where they don't have an awful lot to play for. Is that something that's difficult for them at the moment?
I would think so. I mean, they've probably had, on the whole, a decent season, but when it comes down to those fine margins, and you miss out on what their target would have been at the start of the season of the top 6, especially in the way that they did, that can take the wind right out your sails. I think they probably thought they had it wrapped up. So yeah, that can take a lot out of them, and then they went into the following game, the first game after the split, and I think they got beat again. So they're so focused now. Obviously, you'd like to think they want to be at the top of the bottom 6, but it'll be on the Scottish Cup, I would have thought. I mean, that's something big they've got to play for. They thought they had another final, where they lost in the semi-final there in the League Cup. So Yeah, it's going to be a strange atmosphere, I think, for them, and hopefully it's something we can capitalise on.
Have you been impressed with Jim Goodwin's side this season?
I have been at times. I mean, there's been a lot of noise coming out of St Mirren throughout the season about how well they're doing. How well Jim's done, which is, there's been a big improvement from last season to this season about where they were going to finish in the table. So football can be very unforgiving. I think sometimes you have to wait until the result happens, until you get where you want to get to, then talk about it. So I can imagine they will have learned lessons from it. But they're a good side, no doubt about it. Jim really has come in. His first season was difficult because he came in late in the window. A lot of players had signed up elsewhere, so he was kind of scrambling to get a team together. But he's got a good, young, dynamic team who you think will only get better as they progress. He signed good players in the summer. Joe Shaughnessy, Richard Tate, Marcus Fraser, all good experience who know the Scottish Premiership. But it will have been a major disappointment not making top six. And tonight, having that journey up the road, it's warm and sweaty around the hotel. The players will be thinking, so that's where Ross County have to try and capitalise. Start the game well. Turn them in behind, get in their face, pick up second balls, don't let them breathe early on and show them they're in for a tough game. Because if they have any weaknesses or they're feeling sorry for themselves, you have to capitalise on it.
Well, let's have a look at Jim Goodwin's starting 11 that he has selected for this evening's game. A couple of former Ross County and recent Ross County players in Marcus Fraser and Lee Irwin involved. I'm going to let you talk through it, Stephen, because we sort of hummed and hawed between a 4-4-2 and a 3-5-2.
Listen, it's flexible because Richard Tate can play left back in a 4 or can play right back in a 4. He could easily go and play left back. Jamie McGrath could play wide in the right and it could be a 4-4-2. But then you look at the two midfield players. Cameron McPherson's 22, Jay Henderson's 19. That would be a risk for Jim Goodwin, putting them up against Ross Draper and Ian Vaggers with lots of experience, lots of know-how. They're very coy in what they do. They can manage the game well. They'll certainly be putting lots of pressure on them. So if they do go 4-4-2, it may actually suit County a little bit better because they can try and be more aggressive in that midfield area. But whatever way you look at it, it will be all about what County do. Lee Irwin and Dennis up front, the good physical presence. So it's another challenge for Alex Yakovitz and Keith Watson. They've got to step up to it. I thought they handled Kyle Lafferty very well when they played against Kilmarnock. So it certainly won't faze them.
Is there still a little bit of ill feeling towards that last game down in Paisley in the squad?
You'd like to think you put it behind you, but when you lose a game in that manner, although it's got nothing to do with it, it was maybe the decision. It does. It sticks in the back of your mind. And there's been a few of them this season, not just one, that have gone against us.
Gotta be careful. The manager gets in trouble talking about
this. You blame me now.
Somebody says these things always even themselves out. So St Mirren are going to have 2 men sent off and County are going to get a penalty. That's it even.
We'll take that all day. We'll take that all day long. No, it's a tough one. It's tough to take. But look, when you go and win the game, we owe them one. The boys are looking good in training as well. So I'm guessing they'll win tonight, and we'll kick on from there.
Who for you are the key players for St Mirren? I know we covered a lot of the Betfred Cup games, and Jamie McGrath was certainly outstanding against Rangers and against Aberdeen. He always seemed to score in those games that we covered. Is he the key man for you?
Well, he's a good player. He's only 24 years of age. There's a lot of development still in him to come. But Jim Goodwin has put his trust into him, and there's no doubt the County players haven't played against him will know his qualities. He's flexible, and that's why it's hard to kind of work out what formation they may play. He can play wide in the left, he can play wide in the right. He's played as a number 10, he's played as a 6 or an 8 in midfield. So it's kind of hard to work out where you're going to play. But listen, he's got himself some goals. It's strange because you look at his goals record. I think he scored 1 goal from open play in the last 20 games. He's got quite a lot of penalties. I think he missed his last penalty against Motherwell, the first game after the split. But if you keep him quiet in the productive area in the final third, then you've got a chance of winning the game. So no matter where he plays in the pitch, whoever's against him will have to stop him.
Be interesting, Callum, for a few of your teammates coming up against a couple of ex-teammates as well.
I think so, yeah. I mean, obviously Marcus was here for years, and Big Lee's a character in himself. The boys know what he can produce. It'll be tough for Keith and Alex at the back there with Big Lee, but like we said before, it's all about us. It's all about us. We've got to make sure we impose ourselves on the game and take care of it because it's a big 4 games, and it all starts tonight.
Well, gentlemen, for now, thank you very much. Stephen, Callum, thank you very much. Stephen will be joining me for commentary, but that's all for now. We're 5 minutes from kickoff. Can't wait for the big off, and we'll be joining you very shortly for that. Thank you.
Sometimes you have to search far and wide for the answer. But for creative video production, the answer's on your doorstep. DP Digital Media, the other top team in the Highlands.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my family.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my teammates.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my neighbours.
When I hold the card, I stand with my brothers and sisters.
We're standing with everyone who's had to endure racial prejudice in their lives.
Racism comes in many forms, some clear, some more subtle.
It affects not just the victim, but friends, families, and entire communities.
No one is born with it, and tolerance is taught, but it can be untaught.
To bring about change, we can't be afraid to take the first step. We fail when we fail to try.
We are supporting Show Racism the Red Card, our education charity.
Now more than ever, they need your support to give our future generation the tools to challenge prejudice, hatred and discrimination.
It's not enough to be not racist. We all must be anti-racist. Education is the key.
Help raise funds for the Ross County Youth Academy when you shop, eat out and what's more at no extra cost to you. Sign up to fantasticfanatics.com and securely register your everyday debit or credit cards. You'll also be automatically entered into ongoing cash prize draws. Retailers include B&Q, Currys, JD Sports and more, with a percentage going to the Staggies each time you spend. Visit fantasticfanatics.com and help fund the future of Ross County.
As a family-owned business, Norscot understand the need for stability, security and comfort. That's why every timber frame kit we supply is built with these in mind. Providing great design flexibility, our homes are entirely customisable to your needs. And with a wide range of adaptable set and bespoke designs on offer, your budget is not a limitation. To find out more, email info@norscot.co.uk. Norscot, proudly serving customers throughout the UK since 1984.